Bitcoin, the revolutionary digital currency that offers a secure, fast, and low cost payment system, it is decentralized. That means nobody can control it. Not governments, not corporates, and not even your friendly neighborhood SEC. So, what is the importance of Bitcoin in a centralized world? Why Bitcoin is decentralized? What is the need of decentralization? And is Bitcoin stable? Because we have been defending accusations that Bitcoin uses an energy intensive validation process. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Assets of Value podcast. Today, on 23rd December, and every day, we connect to give our insights and perspective on crypto, Web3, and NFT topics. We are the founders of Assets of Value, a Web3 research organization. Our podcast is not to be taken as legal or financial advice. Let's jump straight into it. So, what is the problem we are facing? We, as in the world. The world is going through an energy crisis. As you know, the Europe, the United States, and the rest of the world, there's energy demand, which is always increasing according to the population and its demand, and the availability of energy from fossil fuels. It's kept on watch list because fossil fuels contributes to global warming, and the world has been trying to find a better sustainable source, and we know that renewable energy sources are the future. For example, solar energy, wind energy, and all these things. But the question still remains, how can we as a species progress? Because I think we as a species are in a certain threshold level where we have seen the maximum progress in the last 50 years, and now suddenly the progress is stalling because of the lack of energy for extended purposes. So the pro-climate individuals, they often criticize Bitcoin for its significant energy demands because we know that Bitcoin follows a proof of work consensus mechanism. What is a proof of work mechanism? It's simply the Bitcoin transactions are verified by a single party, which is decentrally selected from a pool of miners, into proving that the transaction and the computational effort has taken place. Simply, that's the proof of work. And the proof of stake is simply validating a specific network with a collection of delegators, validators, and it is more energy efficient than the proof of work system. Also, there's a widespread belief that the energy source used to mine Bitcoin is not renewable, which is false because you can mine Bitcoin with any energy source. Recently, Russia has permitted and legalized Bitcoin mining. We know that Russia is an energy surplus country. Russia sells fuel to European and Asian markets. It is no surprise that ordinary people fall for this propaganda comfortably. But as Web3 enthusiasts, it falls upon us to correct this false information. And can really crypto or Bitcoin help the species to go forward and evolve much rapidly? Also, we'll answer the question that does cryptocurrencies pose a challenge to the global energy infrastructure? And we'll explain the theory of galactic species, which is a well known theory. And in Assets of Value podcast, we believe our viewers should know about the evergreen theory of galactic species. So let's start with some data. International Energy Agency, the global leader in energy studies, suggests that the renewable energy usage is increasing, but is not increasing as per the population growth and as per the demands. From 1971 to 2019, in a gap of 40 years, the energy production has nearly doubled and tripled. So, if we go forward another 40 years, the same rate of energy extraction should take place. That means we should see a triple energy production and energy utilization in the next 40 years. But simply, it's not possible because we are reaching the threshold and there's not enough energy storage and generating mechanisms that exist in the world. What is the problem? Firstly, the world is still predominantly dependent on coal and oil for its energy needs. Coal and oil contributes to more than 50% of the global energy supply, and the share of renewable sources is less than 10%. So let's respectfully reject the conspiracy that Bitcoin precipitates a global energy crisis. It doesn't. The truth is that Bitcoin is not the problem, it's the solution. The overall renewable energy adoption has been increasing at a slower pace while the population has been increasing in a rapid pace. When the demand outgrows the supply, there will be energy crisis. The price for unit energy will increase and it will contribute to further increase in inflation. But we cannot hold Bitcoin responsible for this increase in energy usage or increase in inflation or anything. Bitcoin is not responsible for the world's problem and the problems that exist in the world. It exists simply because of the wrongdoings of the past generation and the bad decisions that the present generation makes. So let's discuss Kardashev scale. Kardashev scale is a measure of energy consumption in each progressive stage of human development. Simply, it just quantifies the idea of the amount of energy a civilization can harness for its growth. For example, in old days, we used to have this 2 ampere power bricks that we used to charge our smartphones. But the 2 ampere charger used to take at least 3 hours to charge our phones. Now we have dedicated 10 ampere chargers, 20 ampere chargers. This could charge our phone in less than 30 minutes. So the capacity for energy harnessing and transferring increased, and we are saving considerable time on that. This is happening in a large scale for the population and humans as a species. For example, humans, that's us, can utilize the energy on Earth and from the sun. For example, solar energy. We know the sunlight helps the trees to cook food. We eat that food. Animals eat that food. We eat that animals. But when a population explodes, the need for energy grows exponentially. In that aspect, blockchain is trying to assist the growth for the energy needs in the right direction. Let's demystify some facts about Bitcoin's energy usage. As Bitcoin is using a proof of work system, it's ideal to compare its energy usage with an existing system, which is fiat money. Be it pounds, dollars, Indian rupees, yuan, reals, it takes an average of 4.5 kilowatts for a nominal number of transactions. For example, let's consider this. You want to send $100 to 100 people, that means you'll take at least 100 transactions to complete. The amount of energy that's used to process that transaction, if you are in a dollar based economy, is 4.5 kilowatt hour. But if you are in a Bitcoin based economy, you can do this, you can achieve it under 1 kilowatt. And when we assume that the technology, the Bitcoin technology, maintains the momentum it has currently, we can easily understand two things. One, the number of Bitcoin users will increase. That's happening. The amount of new wallets and new users and new Bitcoin are increasing. Secondly, the number of transactions are increasing. So, what is Kardashev scale? Kardashev is a Russian astrophysicist from 1930s. He lived his childhood in the age of the Great Depression. Thus, his theories are deeply rooted in the growth and evolution of humans as a species and optimizing the energy usage. For example, let's consider three people. One is Bob, one is Paul, one is Steve. Bob is a planetary man. Bob can use the energy that's confined within the planet, for example, coal, oil, gas, etc. Bob can survive as long as these energy sources are readily available. If Bob has an infinite amount of oil, an infinite amount of coal, an infinite amount of gas, he can sustain infinitely. But the progress of Bob, the evolution of Bob is restricted by limited and exhaustible resources. We know that the amount of coal is going down day by day, and there will be a day when there's no coal anymore. Currently, 80% of the human civilization are Bobs, but the remaining 20% they make use of solar energy. They are not yet Poles. But who is Paul? Paul is the stellar man. Paul can use the planet's energy and the energy of the planetary system associated with the star. For example, in our case, it's the sun. So Paul can utilize all the energy of all the planets, all the comets, and the sun. And you might be wondering, if we fix solar panels everywhere, we can easily achieve this, right? Unfortunately, no. Earth receives a very limited fraction of solar energy that's being produced. It's 1 to a trillion. So imagine if we can harness all the energy provided by the sun, then we'll be a stellar species. We'll be traveling around stars using the excess energy. We'll be colonizing other planets. We'll be making the environment of that planet similar to Earth. We'll be producing massive colonization missions, and we'll be fast recovering the Earth for future generations. But as of now, we can't do that because we lack the energy to do that. So you might be wondering, what's next? What's the topmost form of evolution? The most highly evolved species, we can call him Steve. Steve is the galactic man who can use the energy of the whole galaxy. That figure is roughly 10 to the power 20 times the energy needs of whole Earth. So are we in a pole position to become a galactic species? In my opinion, we are ready, and the growth of technology will determine the fate and future of our civilization. To make Bitcoin sustainable in energy matters, we need to embrace sources such as renewable energy, solar energy, wind energy, and such renewable and green energy sources. We can also make use of lightning because a single bolt of lightning can power a whole city, for example, New York City, for a whole day. And each second, there are 40 lightning happening around the world. So imagine if we can harness all the energy released by all the lightning around the world. In 3 hours, we can power the world for a day. Although it's too early for Bitcoin or a digital currency to become the reserve asset, maybe some decades from now, people will look back at us and wonder how we used a piece of paper and hold it as something valuable. There's a famous psychological experiment that's done with a monkey, a banana, and $100 bill. Monkey is given an orange and he is offered a banana in exchange for the orange. Monkey readily accepts it because he knows that he can eat orange or he can eat banana and he prefers banana. But when the monkey is offered $100 bill, the monkey doesn't even care because the $100 bill is a piece of paper according to him. If you think about it, money is just a story we told ourselves, generations to generations, until we think it is true. The paper money, especially, is a myth that we choose to believe in. It's a story that the world chose to believe in. So you can say the existing financial system is a repeated reinforcement of the story of money and its use cases. In my opinion, paper money is just another fictional story the whole world chose to believe. But if the human civilization want to evolve into a galactic species, that means we can control the energy of a galaxy. As a species, we'll be unstoppable. So Bitcoin can help in the process because it significantly reduces energy consumption for financial transactions. It can save us from currency devaluations and governments and centralized authorities. For example, 60% of the Russians believe that the Bitcoin is the most financially compatible asset that is existing, even more than gold, because anybody can seize gold from them. If we are really looking forward to the future, I think having such a decentralized financial system is necessary. And perhaps Bitcoin is the answer. Bitcoin is the solution to all the problems that is faced by the world financially. No more disputes and no more wash trading of dollar. No more wars because wars are fought over authority, and no more terrorism because terror financing is usually happens through illegal currencies, fake currencies. You cannot fake a Bitcoin, right? There are just 21 million of them, and the whole world knows who is holding and who is not. Well, that's it for today. And this has been super fun. I'm glad you were able to jam with us today. That's it until next week. Wishing you a happy Christmas and a prosperous new year. Teach your family how to buy Bitcoin this Christmas day and beyond. Thanks, everyone, and signing off.